By 1991, India still had a fixed exchange rate system where the rupee was pegged to the value of a basket of currencies of the major trading partners. India started having balance of payments problem in 1985, and by the end of 1990 the state of India was in a serious economic crisis. The government was close to default, central bank had refused new credits, and foreign exchange reserves had reduced to the point that India could barely finance 2 weeks worth of imports. The collapse of Chandrasekhar government in the midst of this crisis and the assassination of Rajiv Gandhi led to the election of the new Congress government led by P.V. Narasimha Rao. He elected Amarnath Verma to be his principal secretary and Manmohan Singh to be the finance minister, and gave them complete support in doing whatever they thought was necessary to solve this crisis. The great economic visionary Dr. Manmohan Singh changed the fate of Indian economy and paved its way to the liberalisation. Today, I, Radhe Sharma, in this segment of What's Your Vichaar, will be talking about my Vichaar on the liberalisation policies of 1991. Manmohan Singh worked on a new budget that would come to be known as the epochal budget. The primary concern was getting the fiscal deficit under control, and he sought to do this by curbing government expenses. Part of this was the disinvestment in public sector companies, but accompanying this was reduction in subsidies for fertilizer and abolition of subsidies for sugar. He also dealt with the depletion of foreign exchange reserves during the crisis with a 19% devaluation of the rupee with respect to the US dollar. A change was sought to make exports cheaper and accordingly to provide the necessary foreign exchange reserves. The devaluation made petroleum more expensive to import, so Singh proposed to lower the price of kerosene to benefit the poorer citizens who depended on it, while raising petroleum prices for industry and fuel. On 24th July, exactly 30 years ago, Manmohan Singh presented the budget alongside his outline border reform. During the speech, he laid out a new trade policy oriented towards promoting exports and removing import controls. Specifically, he proposed limiting tariff rates to no more than 150% while also lowering rates across the board, reducing excise duty and abolishing export subsidies. What was the impact of this liberalization? Foreign investment in the country, including foreign direct investment, portfolio investment, and investment raised on international capital markets, increased from $132 million in 1991 to $5.3 billion in 95. The fruits of liberalization reached their peak in 2006 when India recorded its highest GDP growth rate of 9.6%. With this, India became the second fastest growing major economy in the world, next only to China. Today, on the 30-year anniversary of liberalization, he said that the road ahead is even more daunting than during 1991 economic crisis, and the nation would need to recalibrate its priorities to ensure dignified life for all Indians. Recalling the 1991 moment, he said that on this day 30 years ago, the Congress had ushered in insignificant reforms of India's economy and paved a new path for our nation's economic policy that shouldn't have been. As finance minister in 1991, I ended my budget speech by quoting Victor Hugo, "No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come." 30 years later, as a nation, we must remember Robert Frost's poem, "But I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep," Singh said. If you really like the content of the video, do share it with your friends, comment down below, and do press the like button. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and do follow us on social media websites as well. Link will be in the description. Thanks for watching.